What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News. We are live. It's the Cantina Hour. Lauren's there. I'm here. We ain't got no background. We don't care. There we go. Yes, today's episode we're going to talk about clearly. I'm gonna do something disgusting to some people, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try this Dunkin' spiked pumpkin spice iced latte for the masses, if you will. I'm going to try it live, and then I'm going to drink some Shipyard Pumpkinhead as we go ahead and chat about some fun things, such as, maybe our transition to fall. We got some beer news. And then I think what we're also going to do is we're going to talk about some movies that would never get made today. So subscribe, share, put in hop in the comments if you want to. Stacy says take a lactate first. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. Taking one for the team. That's right, I am. I'm gonna do it all. I got my Dunk Kings jacket on, as you guys all know. So go ahead and share with your friends. I'm gonna introduce Lauren real quick while I open this bad boy and we do some fun things.
Hi. So I actually have a fun new thing. If you are a $5 Patreon, you can expect these within the next month. These glasses just came in. I just poured a beer from one glass into another because we just recorded a couple episodes. So we got our little Steambach Willy glasses. They say Hops Geek News. At the moment, I am finishing up my family business Cosmic Cowboy. I just did a hard pour from this glass to that glass, hence all the head. And I also need to do a little peep my fit. So shout out to Riley, who's one of our Patreons. I actually wore this 2 weeks ago when we recorded and forgot to do a peep my fit. This is the softest shirt I think I own. It is the softest shirt ever. And it's got Wolvie howling at the moon, which is extra hilarious, especially because Hugh Jackman did not know Wolverines were real, and he was acting a little bit like a wolf when he first started playing Wolverine, and they're like, what are you doing? And they're like, you do know Wolverines are real animals, right? You're not a wolf.
No, they're not. That's kind of crazy to me,
howling
though.
At the moon.
Howl at the Moon.
That's so
Great
funny.
place. Those are amazing. Cannot wait to get my hands on that. And Stacy also said that. Put that up there one more time for the fine folks at home. Yeah. That's our pint glasses, folks. If you are a $5 subscriber to Patreon, that is where you can go ahead and you're going to get one. So hop in the comments. We're on YouTube right now. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram, which Instagram's kind of just, whatever. But Twitter's trying to say that we have to pay them $8 a month to be able to go live, which is lame. So fuck Twitter, fuck Elon Musk. And
we'll just buy more pint glasses instead.
We're just going to spend that money to buy more pint glasses and take care of our patrons, such as Scott, who dropped an email to us tonight. Can't wait to go into that one. But like I said, I am going to drink this and see how that goes. I'm going to pour it for all you folks. And then we're going to talk about some
oh my gosh, you really are matchy.
We're going to go into some movies that might not get made
wow,
today.
That looks like coffee.
This is coffee, folks. There it is in all its glory. That looks like coffee. I probably won't drink the whole thing unless it's amazing. Smell, taste. It smells like you put Baileys in a coffee. That's what this smells
it looks like Baileys.
Yeah, it smells. It's got a little bit of a pumpkin. So my parents sent me this. Shout out to my mom and dad. You're supposed to shake it. I did not shake it first. Whoops. I should probably read the can, I guess.
Oh, you're gonna have a whole bunch of goop at the bottom.
21 plus. It's 6% ABV. Yoo-hoo. Yeah, Stacy. It kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of looks like
Yes, it definitely looks like Yoo-hoo.
So obviously it says 21 plus everywhere because it says Dunkin' all over the can. Like everyone's gonna get crazy and think, oh mom, I'm gonna have this coffee. I'm trying to see, like, it's obviously from Massachusetts. You want to shake it and then ice it. I didn't put any ice in this. Let's see how it tastes.
Did they just send you iced coffee?
Oh, it doesn't taste like alcohol. It's very sweet. That's sweet.
Does it taste like Yoo-hoo?
No, it's dude, I don't know. It's very sweet. I don't know how to describe that flavor, but it's an acquired taste, I would have to say. Like the first initial taste, you get this very sweet hint on your mouth, I guess, that doesn't taste like coffee. It doesn't taste like alcohol even. Like this is something.
I thought you were going to make a cinnamon sugar rim. Did that not happen?
Come on.
Oh, you have one ready to go.
Follow up. I mean,
of course, now I hear cinnamon ring and I think of
you do get like
different.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if for like every girl in New England that goes out there and orders an iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and then they just take forever to drink it, what they do is the ice melts, and that's kind of what this is. And it feels like there's a lot of like syrup in there for the pumpkin spice. Like
But
the
I bet
if you
if you
just
shook it up and poured it over ice, so you gotta make sure you do that next time.
I gotta do it in the morning on my way to work. You're right, Lauren. They would never
Yeah,
know.
whatever gets you through the day. Who am I
Coffee.
to judge?
I'm gonna have to take some pictures, but yeah, no, it's something.
I
I
like that you
cannot
keep
drink.
taking sips and you're not sure.
I,
No,
I
it's a
can't
grain
drink a
pour?
whole thing. Nope. That I can't do the whole thing. You heard it here, folks.
Well, you had a backup
Oof.
ready to go. Josh was
To
laughing
think
at
I
me
have
today
two
when
more
I
of these cans in there.
yeah, I packed a cooler. But as soon as I go out there, like, Logan starts asking me for stuff, and
But don't worry,
there.
on backup, I
Just
got
hide in here with
Shipyard
the cooler.
Pumpkinhead, man. Like,
Look at
this is
that,
my
on
first
brand.
Pumpkinhead of the season. Now, you guys know that this is one of my favorite beers from
First.
Portland, Maine. You gotta do my cinnamon rim sugar didn't really work, as well. I was in a rush. But first, like that smells good. Just look
It
at the
looks pretty
color.
good.
Look at the foam. I'm gonna let that do its thing real quick. Stacy says you got your Crocs on too. No, nope. I just got this. See, and some shorts. Like that's right. I will say that yeah. Okay, maybe it is the Bud Light of pumpkin beers. It used to be a lot better like 10 years ago, but now I feel like the brand has gotten bigger.
It's
But
different every year.
you know what you got to drink is the smashed pumpkin. That's what you got to drink. The smashed pumpkin's wicked good. It's a 9%. It's like a porter. They just revamped their can and everything. That would be the one that you absolutely have to.
When Tripping Animals pumpkins are really good.
Yeah, you
Like, their
gotta.
brown ale's good, and then the other one's like a coffee. That's the one that I think are good are the coffee pumpkins, because when they're overly nutmegged 2 years ago, I thought Pumpkinhead was terrible. I had one and I was
Ooh,
done. But last year, I didn't hate it, but I also had it at the brewery, so I don't know if that made a difference. It
let's.
probably did.
Oh yeah, probably. I love the brewery. The
I think it
brewery's
was
always
still out of a
fun.
bottle, but I still just being there, I think, made it better.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
all in my
I
head.
don't have my Crocs on though. No, I'm still waiting for Lauren to send me my Crocs and shirt. And stuff.
Well, now that I have your glass to send you, I'll try to get all that out next week.
Mm,
Do or do not, there is no
mm.
try.
Amherst Pumpkin Brewing. My parents sent me Amherst Brewing's lager, but I didn't know they had pumpkin. Damn, that's a game changer. I kind of wish I had that, but it's fine. It's fine. Lauren, why don't you go ahead and pimp something very important to us real quick, though?
So our run, whether you run or you
Yes.
don't run, you can lie if you want to. We don't care. If you go to our link tree, the first thing you can click on there, you can join our virtual run that we're doing. It costs about $40 after taxes and fees and all that BS, and it goes to research for DIPG, which is a pediatric brain cancer, which is nearly incurable. So we're raising awareness and we're raising funds for research. Right now on our team, we got Matt and I, we got Tab and we got Stacy. Our team is called Hops Geek Booze. Again, that link will take you right there. It's a terrible, terrible thing that it affects such a small amount of kids that they don't do enough research. However, if that's your child, like, that's the world. Like, no kid should be dying from cancer. No kid should be dying. So I don't even care if you lie. You could just sign up and say you ran, and they'll send you a virtual medal, or not a virtual medal. I think they send you a real medal. And tag us if you do run, and tag us if you get your medal. We'll happily share it. We definitely want to share it, and you can use the hashtag Hops Geek
Yeah,
Booze, and that's going
okay.
to be our team is Hops Geek Booze for Haley. Haley passed away at the age of 4, way too young. She should have started second grade recently. So fuck cancer. Let's run, or
Fuck
let's pretend we're
cancer.
running, and let's raise some money.
Yeah, Scott, dude, Scott, shout out to first of all, my mom's in the chat. Thanks, mom. You missed it here. I'm gonna drink this next sip just for you because I got dressed up just for my mom tonight. She sent this.
We should match our beers more often.
Yum. We should. We should. We'll play them better, especially with the fall beers. We tend to send each other beers, and I have some to send to you. Also, shout out
Well,
Scott
and now
who
we get a lot of
signed
team
up.
beers.
That's true, we do. But I want to say Scott is in the chat. He actually signed up. He said it's simple, quick. Take some time to visit the page
Yay.
for her as well. The story. So thank you, Scott. Scott's one of our patrons.
Thank you. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely love
Yeah,
Scott.
this
And
is a
Scott,
friend
hey,
from
if you
high
didn't
school,
see,
so
yeah, you got a cool little pint glass on your way there. But shout out to we got some folks in the chat. Patrick, my boy, is in there. He says pumpkin beers. Get this man out of here.
they're
The
rolling
worst thing
over
that
in their graves.
he's not my boy
Ryan
anymore.
Huskabot. Here's the problem, though, is like pumpkin beers are the most American beer there is. But the pumpkin beers that we're getting now with all the nutmeg is just it's not the
Yeah,
best.
see, Stacy,
I haven't
shout
had an
outs.
Oktoberfest though. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna sneak one of these pumpkin Dunkin' spiked into your thing just for you to take a sip. Just a heads up. But
You know what?
Micah
I will
Tavern Geek
properly
right there.
shake it and pour it over ice to give it the benefit
You
of
gotta
the
do it
doubt.
properly. You're right. Do I need to send my jacket with it too?
Yes, I'll take a picture with your jacket on and then I'll send it back.
Actually, well, I might be coming next month.
Nice.
I'll just
3
pick it
miles,
up
3
from you.
beers.
Actually, that's right. 3 miles, 3 beers,
Perfect.
or 31 tenths of a mile. Yeah. So seriously, you can walk it. You can just donate. What's up to Ken in the chat? Our boy from Nerd Initiative. He's the tribal chief, if you will, from nerdinitiative.com, where we do comic books reviews, movie reviews, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good thing. So Hops Geek booze for Haley. I'm gonna send Lauren one of these pumpkin things. I can pick this jacket up too when I visit you next month when we go to the Packers game. I've somehow convinced Lauren to come
I
to a
mean, Matt and
football
I are
game
the
with
same
me.
size for sure.
We are without a doubt, and
I'll
so we'll
put
be
your
doing
Crocs
that.
on too. When I was buying your Crocs and your shirt, Brielle's like, "Oh, those are actually for her." She was telling the cast member. I'm like, "Yes, I wear a size 12 in
You
men's."
should have. You should have. Well, why don't you go ahead, go into some beer news before we go into what movies would not have been made today and talk about some fall things because I've already bought a pumpkin candle.
So this actually came up a little bit ago. We were talking about, oh, it was when Tom was on because he was drinking a Terrapin, which is owned by, I had mentioned it was owned by Coors. So Tilray is actually a cannabis company that owns Sweetwater Brewing Company, Alpine Beer, Green Flash Brewing, and Montauk Brewing Company. They actually bought some beer from Molson Coors, including Terrapin and Hot Valley, Revolver, and Atwater. So Terrapin is now owned by Tilray, a cannabis company.
Oh,
So this, like I
interesting.
said, this was discussed a few weeks ago now, but shout out to my stepdad Rich, who actually brought this to my attention. Some more news. Any Orlando locals, which I know Scott was on here. Ivanhoe Park Lager House has added more to their kitchen, and they have kicked off yoga every third Sunday at 10. It's the first Sunday at 10:30 at the original location. This one, did you hear about
Ooh.
the Hulk Hogan news?
Oh my
You know, he
god,
had his
he's
own
such a
beer.
racist piece of shit. Yes. Don't even talk
So
about him
he
on the show.
Okay, that's fine. He was throwing beers. It didn't end well. All right. There were so over in Oxford, Mississippi, a few weeks ago, boxes of beer fell off an 18-wheeler, causing a road closure. The local police had to put something out saying, "We do not need help cleaning it up. Like, please stop
What?
asking." Because people kept making jokes and commenting and whatnot, like, "Well, I can come help clean it up."
Ho ho ho,
So they had to
do you
come
need
out
help
and be
picking this
like,
up?
"We're
That's right,
good."
Ken. F Hulk Hogan. Okay, so first of all, the reason why I don't want is because Hulk Hogan is a, let's just say he supports some sides and he also
Well, he
he's very
threw
racist. I'll put it to
threw
you
a
that
beer
way.
at somebody and they got injured and, yeah, he got in some trouble. Do you know
F
The
Hulk Hogan.
Alchemist is celebrating 20 years of Hetty Topper?
20 years of Hetty. Wow. I mean, Focal Banger's still the better one, but 20 years of
I
Hetty
agree.
Topper. That's impressive. That's really for an
Yeah,
IPA. I mean,
yeah.
interesting.
The rest is not really news, more so just talking points. Do you think that
Okay. Bring it
non-alcoholic beer
back.
should be sold to kids who are under 21? Thoughts?
Ooh, I would love to hear in the chat. We haven't done beer news in a while. So before we get to some pop culture things, because we are still a beer podcast at the same time, shipyard baby. Uh, this is an interesting one because it's supposed to be non-alcoholic, but even with non-alcoholic, isn't there some traces of alcohol in them?
Yeah, so there usually is still like 0.05, but what's interesting is so non-alcoholic beer cannot be served under the age of 21 in Florida, Georgia, and Idaho. Apparently, most places it is okay. However, like I buy non-alcoholic beer somewhat regularly, and I still get ID'd for it, even though it's
Interesting.
non-alcoholic. Now, some of them will straight up say 0%. I forget which one it is. There is one that, so I think some of them are completely 0%. I do have a friend. We were at Dogfish Miami, and her daughter was underage, but she looks older than she is. And she ordered a non alcoholic, and they did give it to her. We didn't really think much of it, but I was a little surprised. But it's like, is that comparable to candy cigarettes? Or should we be teaching
Well,
our kids to drink responsibly under 21 anyways, like they do in other countries?
I
Okay,
mean,
Connecticut, you can't
it is
either. Okay.
so Connecticut you can't. Pat says it's non-alcoholic. So how's it any worse or different than soda? So this is interesting.
Yeah.
Very Heineken has a pure zero. And then Scott also said Florida beer laws are way behind. You were actually the last state to legalize growlers, which is really interesting because growlers
We
are the
didn't get
cheapest way for breweries to,
We didn't have
Sadly.
64-ounce growlers until July 1st, 2016. It was the year
Hmm.
Shar was born, 2015.
Oh, wow. That is interesting. So this is a hard one, right? Because I don't know that we should necessarily be glorifying the drinking like it's non-alcoholic, but because I always thought there were some traces of alcohol in these things.
Well, I think you have both now, like what Micah just said about the Heineken 0.0. Which
Right.
shout out to Micah. We've just recorded our Penguin episode. This Maybach you brewed was fucking fantastic. I love Maybachs. More
Yes,
breweries need to do Maybachs. You should open a brewery and just brew Maybachs. That
that's
was
true.
so good.
So it
Yes,
is,
we were
yeah,
allowed 120 ounces, but not 64 ounces.
grain juice. Isn't it just grain juice? I guess, yeah, I guess so. That is also interesting. So, like, I guess my thing, Stacy says again, she can't legally sell non-alcoholic to somebody under 21 at work. She doesn't see an issue with it. I guess I don't either, because I've known a lot of people who have grown up in households that were like very anti-alcohol, very sheltered, very hidden. And so the second that they were able to drink, they developed like a drinking problem, and it became like they like went overboard. Because I always
Mhm.
feel like if you just hide something from somebody and talk about how bad all that kind of stuff, you kind of create this, not like a
Well,
monster all the, I'm not saying
no, I
everybody's
know what
going
you're
to do
saying.
it,
When they
but
legalize weed in states, like the
people go
high
nuts.
schoolers, no, there's a decrease in the usage of marijuana amongst high schoolers when you legalize it in that state.
Right.
It's like the
And
appeal of that underage, like, "I'm breaking the law," goes away.
you're breaking the law. And then I also think like you're at that point, you're kind of teaching, there's educational pieces to it, because I feel like maybe maybe you should be 18 and up. I think the drinking laws should go back to 18 anyways.
See, I actually
But
say 19 just because there's too many high schoolers that are 18, and that 18-year-old's gonna buy alcohol for that 14-year-old.
19's gonna buy alcohol for that 14-year-old anyways. Okay.
But 19 is more likely to have already graduated from high school.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
That's
weirdos
that's
out
where
there.
I,
That's where I was at. Like, I was just thinking, like, there's some real creepy people out there.
no, 100% there are, but I just think, like, most kids turn 18 their senior year of high school.
I mean, no, you're
So
absolutely
it's like
right.
once you're
I do.
19, most kids are already in college. That's just where my head went, but it's, in a like, in
Siblings,
Denmark,
yeah.
you can be yeah, well, yeah, if you have older siblings, then you're just the younger ones are fucked. They're gonna get exposed to everything too young. But in Denmark,
16
you're
for
allowed
beer
to
and
drink,
wine,
like
21 for hard liquor like they do in Europe. Okay,
there
see,
you
that's
go,
kind of
yeah.
what I'm thinking, because I feel like if you're it's education, I feel like, because not to say like you're not going to become an alcoholic or have a problem with it. And I think Americans just in general, we have an issue as it is. 0.5% and down is legally labeled as non-alcoholic, is what Scott says. I feel like Americans in general have
But
some
Kaylee
sort of
was able to
issue, but
drink liquor in Europe.
oh, that's right, she was.
Like, Kaylee
Yeah.
was drinking sangria and, yeah, all sorts of random things, which
Yo,
again, we
Megan in the
talked about how
chat
funny
real
that
quick.
is, like
Yeah. But it was funny because, yeah,
what did
well,
Megan say?
Megan's in the chat. She said, "Hey," but it was funny
Oh,
because we
okay.
had to go ahead and get so Kaylee is 20, but we had to basically go and get something on our cards that said, "Hey, we're legally allowed to let
Yeah.
her buy alcohol," which is interesting because we were on a
So
European cruise.
but it was still, I guess, because it's still I don't really know. Maybe the dream is docked out of the States, maybe that's why. But so my daughter, who'll be
Right.
21 next month, she didn't even get ID'd other than I think one
They
time the
never
whole
did
time we were
anything.
in
Yeah.
Europe. But then on the Mickey boat, she had to have people that signed up. So, like, obviously, my husband and I signed up. Matt and his wife signed up because she needed one of us to give her the like thumbs up that she could buy alcohol on the boat, even though I had already approved her spending on
It's
the room.
weird.
And she was getting
It
so she was, she's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I get it, but you're still underage at home. This kid has drank legally in so many countries and she still can't drink here.
well, that's what I'm saying. So that
So
goes to
in
the whole
Copenhagen, it was 18 for liquor, but 16 for beer because there were kids that were drinking at the Mickler War Pigs place.
Mhm.
And I made
I
Josh go ask them how old they were.
I guess that so actually this takes me, oh god, I'm gonna admit to a crime. Once upon a time, I was 21,
Is the
as
statute
we
of
all were.
limitations over? Okay.
I should be. I mean, I'm old now, right? So I was 21 and there were some Europeans
Did you
visiting
murder anybody? There's no statute of
a
limitations for
popular
that.
vacation spot in Florida that I happened to be at, and they couldn't legally buy
Mhm.
alcohol in our country despite being 20 years old. And so I said, fuck this. We made friends with them. I was like, I got you. So I went and bought beers, gave it to them all. I was like giving them alcohol all night. I'll be honest, because to me, it's like they were 20. They can drink in their own country. They were Swedish or something like that. Um, and then also it's like, in my opinion, I come from a military background. So an 18-year-old can vote. Back, the laws have changed. So an 18-year-old could smoke cigarettes, which in my opinion are
Get
almost even
married.
worse. They can get
Yeah.
married. Um, and so like there's all these things that you can do when you're 18, but then you
Go to
can't
jail.
drink an alcoholic beverage. So I feel like that's just kind of silly to me. 18 should be fine. I just think as long as, because I think America tries to shelter people too much, and that causes the opposite reaction. Whereas if we opened up education to really educate people on drinking or smoking, all this stuff, then I think you kind of see
And the
it
dangers of
nowadays.
addiction too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely do.
it comes down to it, the whole question, and obviously we're not looking for an answer. Boats are governed by law, the flag they fly. Oh,
Yeah,
I went too fast.
that makes sorry. No,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
basically,
yeah,
if the
okay,
boat was
yeah, where
based in
the dream
America, yeah,
is
sorry, that's my bad. Yeah,
I don't know where, because the Mickey boats are all based out of different places, but the dream was
right.
probably based out of the States. That was my best guess. But it's like, d would under if you're drinking non-alcoholic beer in high school, like, I don't see anything wrong with that. If,
Yeah, I
for
guess I don't
me
either.
yeah. Okay, so
So I
then
put it
maybe
to you
they
this way
should
as
allow
well. When I
under
was
21
deployed,
people to drink it.
I was deployed to Kuwait, which was a dry country. However, they did sell O'Douls on base. So if they're allowed to, it's a dry country. If you're allowed to buy O'Douls, in my opinion, then it's no different than a teenager drinking O'Douls at that point because it
Duels
has
is
no
like a
alcohol. Yeah,
yeah.
that's like the very first like original. Listen, kids, you didn't have all these fancy non-alcoholic beers like you do now. Okay, you had like O'Douls and like one other thing, and that was the non-alcoholic stuff for the longest time until like athletic came
Beck's had a
along, well-being.
non-alcoholic.
Yeah, until like it became a big thing, which is good because I think there's also a social aspect to drinking, and we want to be healthier nowadays. Um, so I'm all about
I think
non-alcoholic
it's
stuff. I'm
great.
all yeah,
Yeah, I think it's great they're starting to taste better. Because there's nights I'm like, "Oh, I don't really
yeah,
want a beer, but I want something that's not
like
water, because that's what I
carbonated,
drink all day other than my
but
coffee."
soda's bad for
So
you too. Whereas non-alcoholic beer, actually, a lot of it has electrolytes sometimes. Like
and
athletic has
that's what
electrolytes.
plants crave.
Okay,
But
so Scott says
I
real
remember
quick,
my
Disney
mom buying
ships.
me non-alcoholic Beck's when I was pregnant, and I'm like, "I'd rather just drink water."
I mean, at that point, right?
What did
Yeah,
Scott
like
say? I
Scott
just
said
saw
that
Stacy laugh at
all
Beck's.
of Disney's ships are registered in the Bahamas. So most cruise lines, except one, which is an NCL ship. So interesting. They're all based out of the Bahamas, which has different laws and regulations as well. So I found
No,
that to
that's
be
18
interesting.
up. Kaylee's had a beer there.
Yeah. No, that is very, very interesting, I find. But yeah, let's kind of know what your thoughts. What other we got some more talking points on here. So what else do you got, Lauren? Was that it?
I have some more down at the
Besides,
bottom. So wet hops, worth the pain in the
there
ass of
we
it all?
go. So explain to people who might not know what a wet hop is.
So I love the
It's
title
when
of
you
this. The
show them
title
me
of
in
this
my Dunkin'
article.
Donuts outfit. Am I right?
Oh, Jesus. So this is Beer and Brewing wrote this article, and the headline was "Fresher, Further, Faster." So clearly somebody's a Captain Marvel fan. So wet hop is something we don't really have down here in Florida because we don't really have hop farms so much, and the ones that we do
Yeah, it's
have are
like
so
a
small
Pacific
that the
Northwest thing.
breweries. Yeah, so it's when as soon as you pluck a hop, it almost immediately starts to die. So if you want to make a wet
I'm
hop beer, you have to get
melting.
those hops in the thing immediately, like no time to spare, which is why they usually dry them right away and then ship them because they just don't hold up. So wet hopped beers, I've only had a couple again because I live in Florida. And I mean, I don't necessarily taste a difference. Maybe my palate's not that good, or maybe
Honestly,
I
I'll be
just haven't
real.
had
I've had
enough.
them out in the Pacific Northwest when I live in Idaho. I didn't really taste the difference either.
So that's really all it is wet is throwing the hop in wet, and then dried is drying it out and then throwing it in there. But the wet beers, the one argument you could have is
Absolutely
like
soaked.
they're as fresh
Ew.
as they
It's
possibly
really
can be because they
moist.
have to be.
Ew.
So we do have a couple hop farms here, but like the one hop farm that was seemed to be doing good, like they don't have the economies of scale. So
Yeah.
nobody can afford to really buy the hops from them, which, stinks. Like the breweries that would buy the hops can't afford to buy the hops from them.
Yeah.
So that was just my question. So I know we got a few like brewers in here. Patrick's brewed, Micah's brewed. Do you think wet hops are worth it?
Yeah, I personally I I don't know, but Micah says that there's not a huge difference. They work good in dank beers. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I
I'll
I
post
haven't
the article
noticed.
on Facebook if anybody wants to read the article.
So Lauren will go ahead and post that. Then okay, this was another interesting article. Is which state drank the most beer per capita? Spoiler alert: it was Wisconsin. No surprise there. It's been Wisconsin, for forever and ever and ever and always, because that's just
And it is per
the way it
capita, so it's not
is.
just well, I mean, if it wasn't per capita, Wisconsin would be even more impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But
Well, or depressing, depending on how you look at it.
well, from this point on, let's you want to take a turn from the boozy kind of side of things and talk about, do you want to talk about some fall transitions as we're transitioning into fall? It was a cool 75 degrees here today. Is it too early now that it's September 4th? And I'm interested to know, everybody, September 4th, is it too early to start decorating for fall, Halloween, all like when is the right time to start getting into the fall spirit for you?
So I used to say October 1st, no questions about it, but pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin beer were always an exception. And I'm reminded of that every day, the last week in August and first week of September on my Facebook memories. Um,
Ah,
but now, after COVID, we just kept finding reasons to decorate a little early. So now I go with first day of fall. There's two reasons though. One is like today I saw somebody in our neighborhood had a sign that said like happy fall. It's technically still summer, so it's not fall.
well, first of all, my mom said November. Excuse me, mother, I love
I don't
you.
know how
However, October is a very sacred
once they
month.
discontinued
Megan's
cucumber
with
melon, I
me.
was out.
How do you mean November, dude? It's the Halloween's past. Come
Wait,
on.
who said
And
November?
my
I need to look at
mom.
these. Oh.
Jeez. How many times have been to Bath and Body Works? Actually, have not been at all yet. My mom, Jesus Christ, my wife, she came back with a pumpkin
Uh-oh.
candle, the pumpkin blanket last week. And so, I haven't been, but Carrie's been. September 1st is good. My dad says October 1st. Okay. I'll give you October 1st. It's better than November. As soon as Shark Week ends, the first week of September, the
Shark Week felt like it used to be
meteorological.
in August, and you know what? That is a good kickoff, but now it's like in
Actually, that's a good
July.
point. No, November's not Halloween. Halloween's October 31st. First of all, my mom says that's Halloween. No. Okay. I
Well, I
think
mean, it's like All Hallows Eve.
Horror Nights at
Trying that.
Universal starts in August and Mickey's Not So Scary starts in
Okay,
August.
Mickey's Not So Scary started in August just a few years ago, but
Finally.
Horror Nights, I think Horror Nights just started this past weekend was still August.
I am so happy that there's
But
somebody with some
that's
sense. July 5th. God damn it. Our forefathers didn't fight multiple wars on American soil, so we couldn't celebrate goddamn Halloween whenever we wanted.
okay. So somebody else, and Matt already saw this. A friend of mine sent a meme today, or no, I saw it on Facebook, and it was like, look, if you're putting
I
your
know I got added
giant
in
skeleton
the group
out
chats.
now, Matt sent that one a group chat with me and my friends. If you're putting your skeleton out now, and it's still hurricane season, if your skeleton happens to fly into my yard, it is now legally mine.
I personally want to get one of those big skeletons because I wanted to put it in my backyard because the trees, there's like a line of trees and then you see the school. Well, I personally want to have that because the trees are going to lose their leaves. So if I have a big skeleton up there, I can decorate it for like every holiday. And I think the kids would get a kick out of that. I'd be like the coolest house on the block. But Carrie says no.
So
Yeah, what the hell?
Erica does decorate it for Thanksgiving. She puts a bib on it and it's holds the turkey leg, and then she puts a Santa hat on it for Christmas. But I sent her like a picture of somebody put like a backpack on their skeleton for like back to school, and she's like, if I put it out now, I feel like the sun would just like rot it away. So she doesn't feel that the skeleton would survive the elements of summer. So that's a thing to take into concern too if you're in the warmer states. Of like, do you want the skeleton or any of your decor just like fade? Like I have a Tigger
That's
sign that
true.
I tossed it last year because it was so faded from the sun
Hey,
and said
but the
Tigger's like
skeleton's
Halloween
already
best.
white.
But they start to crack. They're not made of
Ah.
adamantium.
That's fair.
They're
Well,
made of
guess what?
plastic.
That's fair. I
Unless,
would.
you go all natural and get a real skeleton.
That's fair. Oh, all natural. Are you going to kill your husband?
Maybe. Maybe his name's Kevin.
I'm actually waiting for Carrie to kill me with some of the dumb shit I do, such as suggesting a Green Bay Packers game in October. But and all the like, let's go here. Let's buy Disney annual passes. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah. So one day
I've gotten a lot of ambitious
I'm gonna
texts
be
from
dead.
that lately.
I'm just going for it. I personally think I'm with Micah. It's good to stuff. You can start fall stuff now. So it's in the 70s in Virginia, which is such a reprieve from the 90 humid god awfulness. And so I feel like
That
you
we
can
still
start
have right now
decorating
here.
fall now. You can get into the fall spirit, and then I feel like middle to third week of September, dude, I'm going all out. It's Halloween. Just threw up. A pumpkin
Yeah.
threw up all over my living room, all over my house. That pumpkin is me. I'm the slutty pumpkin because I drank too many Dunkin' Spikes, and I'm just puking Halloween all over that house.
For me, like, I don't judge anybody who decorates
I
early,
knew I
like, do what
liked
makes you
Micah's brother.
happy. That's what's important. My brother's giant
I knew I
skeleton
liked
owner.
Micah's brother because he lives in Richmond and he's got himself a giant skeleton. He might lose that giant skeleton. Just saying. Just
I
saying.
guess the thing for me though is like if I decorate too early and start playing the music too early and doing the movies too early, same with Christmas, my kids are bored with it by the time it's actually Halloween. And so I like to really keep each holiday special. So I try to like I love Christmas music, but it's like I try to hold out as long as I can before I play it because it loses its specialness if I play
Oh,
it
it definitely does. We decorated
constantly.
way too early one year and it kind of loses its flair. It does. So that's what I'm saying. Like third week of September for me, because then I get about a month because November 1st comes and Carrie's ripped it right down already. I'm just like, oh, and she's got cornucopias and shit all up at the house.
I do that too
Um,
November 1st, but I also start putting out some anything I don't have Thanksgiving that I
I'm waiting
have
for
Halloween, I put Christmas out.
Sharknado. That's what I need, a Sharknado to hit so I can go ahead and yeah, Stacey has to come back. But How I Met Your Mother reference, yeah, of course. And then Scott also said that from your last
There's a
episode,
Katie
he watched
Holmes
the first
reference
episode
too.
of Kevin Can F Himself, and it's cool how it transitions like that. It's well shot and well written.
Oh, who said
Um,
they watched it?
Scott did from
Oh,
he.
nice.
I love Scott,
Yeah, it was
man.
very interesting. It is yeah, I just finished it. Only the 2 seasons. Definitely I know Stacey was asking. It's definitely worth the watch. But yeah, it just makes you almost look at some of these sitcoms in a different light as well,
It
I
does.
think.
No, yeah, that's fair. Definitely first. But I think we have a general consensus, and it's that decorate whenever the frick you feel like it, man. Just
Yeah, do
who
what makes you
cares?
happy. That's what
You know what?
matters.
There's so much negativity in the world. Just do what makes you happy.
Brielle,
You
that
could
speaks
be
September
33
1st.
years old one day sitting in a Dunkin' Donuts jacket, sipping on pumpkin beers. And you know what? If that makes you happy, then why don't you talk
I
about your
think
beer real
Cheryl
quick? I
Crow
got to go
said
get
it.
another shipyard. All right.
If it makes you happy. Yes. So I have Binny's Brew is the one I'm going to be opening. This is the one I packed in my little cooler so I don't have to go out there and the kids ask me for things that I'm going to put in our new mug, which is super awesome. So Binny's Brew, if I think a lot of people that are watching or listening are probably familiar, but Binny is the name of the trash can that sits right outside Rose and Crown in the UK pavilion at Epcot. He became kind of the unofficial sponsor of the Disney Day Drinkers, and it's brewed by D3 Brewing, which Disney Day Drinkers is also, you could say D3. You can see there it's a Florida ale, and you see the little trash can. Whoop. Little Binny's Brew. Because one of the things that a lot of people do is look, you put your little beer on there that you got in the pub, and then you take a picture with Binny. And anybody who's been to an Epcot festival also knows that the trash cans kind of become unofficial tables. In fact, if you go to Etsy, you can even search for like a tablecloth and this like cutlery and stuff so that you can properly eat on the trash cans. Because who needs a table when you have Disney trash
That's
cans?
true. You don't need a table when you're doing dope stuff like that. Megan says, yeah, you can decorate for Halloween and fall, then remove the Halloween stuff, and you're still with pumpkin spice vibes. Actually, yeah.
Well,
That's
and I
true.
do a lot of nightmare stuff. So I just take a lot of jacks, turn them around for Thanksgiving, turn them back around and put
For
Santa hats on
Christmas.
them for
There
December.
you go.
Yeah. My hesitation too is like I feel like I just took the Christmas stuff down and I decorate so much for the holidays that it takes me
We do too.
literally the entire fucking day of switching stuff out and it's
We have like
exhausting.
7 bins and stuff like that that we bring in, and that's not to mention like the outside and all. I get
Right.
lazy with
And
the
it's like I
outside, but
switched the picture frames, I switched the beer glasses, I switched the pillows and the blankets and like not
we
in a
have
bad
covers for our pillows. We put out throw blankets. We wrap things. I mean, we even put on like a gingerbread party for where we build gingerbread houses at our house and things like
that's
that.
so cute. I haven't had a Christmas party since COVID. We need to have a
Come
Christmas
on
party
up,
because
dude. Come
we
up.
always
I
do our
got you.
for our Christmas parties, everybody had to dress up, but you could dress however you want. It could be ugly sweater. We had somebody come as the leg lamp one year. They
Oh,
won the contest
nice.
that year. My brother came in
Obviously,
full Grinch, face painted, and picked
I'll
up my
allow it.
Christmas tree, which I about had a heart attack. But
Yeah,
yeah, I need to do that this year.
we make homemade gingerbread kits, and then people build their own. So we get like graham crackers, and we cut them into like shapes of the houses. We buy all the candy. We make the frosting by hand. And then you have to take a picture with your house in front of the tree. So Megan, if you're still watching, you're not very far from me. I'm inviting your family to come down for some
That would be
fun
so
and do a
cute.
gingerbread party because I know you're close. And then obviously, if anybody wants to come and visit, man, come on. The more the merrier. It's a big thing in our house, a big tradition. But transitioning, because we're not going into Christmas yet, man, too soon for Christmas. Let's talk about
Unless it's Nightmare
movies.
Before Christmas.
Fair. But let's talk about some movies that probably will not get made today. I thought this was something that's very interesting. I was just thinking about because I've been talking with our boy, the Maynard Brewer right there. We've been,
Now it
oh,
looks
look at that.
perfect.
If you're a Patreon, $5. There you go.
Sorry.
Pint glasses. Lauren hand drew that pint glass. We got them. They're going to be coming out to folks here soon. All right, Stacy, I'll see you. The Lego. Yeah. Night Before Christmas Lego. I'm very
Oh, I'm
jealous.
excited to see pictures when you're done.
I really wanted the Hocus Pocus one, but I chose to go to Florida, believe it or not, over getting Legos for my birthday. So I just hope Lauren and Josh and everybody feel loved because that's a big deal in this household for me.
Maybe I'll have Legos waiting for
She
you.
said, this is all you're getting. You don't get anything else. And I said, that's fine. All right. That's fine. I'll take it. But movies that would never get made today. So I was sitting here, I've been watching a bunch of things, and How I Met Your Mother has been something I've been rewatching. And obviously Lily, Allison Hannigan, was in American Pie. And I've had talks with some folks too, like Rambo First Blood. Yeah, he's just oh God, PTSD and all that stuff. So let's kind of talk. Drop your stuff in the chat. We'll share it. What are some movies, Lauren, we'll start with you, that you definitely don't think would ever get made today in this economy, this social, light?
Home Alone. Because if everybody has
Really?
cell phones, it's not like it's inappropriate or it's gonna get called out.
You
It's
have a
just
Ring camera.
right. Yeah. There's gonna be video surveillance, especially with a family with that kind of income. The 8-year-old probably has a cell phone.
Dude,
They're gonna
everyone's
have
got
cell
cell
phones.
phones. Yeah, Ring
She's
camera's a
not gonna be at the
thing.
desk. She's gonna be on like kayak.com or something. She's gonna get alerts. They're probably part of like
The only
JetBlue elite class or whatever. So they get priority.
the only thing that I would
Yeah.
say probably aged well is the fact that like flights are such a shit show still.
I think I might have mentioned this. So when we were flying back from London, we were a little bit delayed. And so when we were in the Miami airport and we were like waiting to go through security to get to Orlando, I'm like, oh, I hope we don't have to sing Run, Run, Rudolph. And some lady that was next to us like stopped us and she's like, I was just listening. I used to do that with my kids whenever we were running late in an airport. Do you do? And like, she was like so excited
Run,
that
run, off.
we do that as well. I mean, is there anybody out there who's ever been late in an airport since the year 1991 that doesn't sing
In
Run,
my
Run,
head,
Rudolph
I
while they're
just hear
running through the
the
airport?
do 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 do, and it's just
Okay.
Scott says Mel Brooks movie, just about every Mel Brooks movie. My mom says any
Oh,
cartoon
you don't
from her
think
day.
Blazing Saddles could be made today?
Blazing Saddles. This is an interesting one, The Breakfast Club. I'm curious
Oh.
to know why The Breakfast Club. Like it's about a bunch of kids in detention. Why not?
No, I don't think you could make The Breakfast Club today because I feel
Oh,
like some of the things it's John Hughes 80s movie. So it's like the one girl who's like very dark. It's like they turn her into something she's not so that the jock likes her. Like I feel like there's lessons there that they would not approve of. And think about when the guy's like between Claire's
well,
legs. Do you remember that scene? Like
vaguely, I
there's
guess.
there yeah.
Like I was just thinking if it's like general, like a coming of age film where I don't think like nothing was overly raunchy, I guess. But
About
maybe
Revenge of
I
the
just
Nerds when he rapes the girl.
oh, Revenge of the Nerds would not. That's one. I was thinking like that, like American Pie. A lot of the jokes, even like How I Met Your Mother, I've been rewatching. A lot of the jokes are very much like,
Friends too, yeah.
oof.
So I
So
feel
like
like if you
American
were to
Pie
do
is a big
Breakfast
one.
Club today, you'd have to change a lot
Oh, what would
for
you
it to be
change to
okay.
make a modern? What I'm very interested in this. What would you change to make a modern day Breakfast Club work?
I don't know, I haven't seen it in forever. Dawson's Creek did a Breakfast Club episode. 2
Yes, and you
months
know
I
what?
gotcha.
My boy
2
Hardwick's in the
months.
chat too. I am overly raunchy, I guess. I don't know. But like Breakfast Club, yeah. What about Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Like that, I feel like that one might not
With
age.
Sean Penn, I don't know that I've
Yeah,
ever actually seen the full movie.
that's really that's a that Nicolas Cage is working, and he's in that movie. I'm pretty sure it's Nicolas Cage. He's working. Half the movie would take place over text. Actually, that's true. Most kids would just be sitting on the cell phone, and by most kids, like that'd probably also be me. Like I don't want to interact with people. I also feel like there's not like cliques like that anymore. You know, where you have the nerd, the outcast,
Oh, the
the all those
cliche click.
things.
Well, that's what
Yeah, like
Breakfast Club was too.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like Breakfast Club, like
It
that's
was
what
like a
that was.
representative from each class. Yeah, okay.
But I feel like you don't really have
Yeah.
that in
What about
modern
16
society.
Candles wasn't I feel
Oh,
like a lot of the lessons too at the end, like, were not great for a
well, the
lot
one,
of the
yeah,
movies.
a lot of them, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of like other like 90s films. Like I guess Home Alone, the other one, like the parents would definitely get arrested too if they left their kid like child
And they're
endangerment.
laughing.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
like oof. But I'm like
I always
a lot
hated
of
how they painted
comedies.
Miami in the second one.
I just definitely think like a lot of my mind just instantly goes to a lot of comedies from the 80s, 70s, 90s, early 2000s just for the humor that they used. Again, I keep using American Pie because like how bad and inappropriate was Stifler, for example. Like he was
Oh,
that
yeah.
humor like does not go over
And
well
MILF.
at all. Like the MILF is one thing, but like they say a lot of just really messed up things that I'm
What
just
about
like, ooh.
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice isn't well, Beetlejuice clearly got made today because it comes out tomorrow.
But it wouldn't be
Ooh.
PG today, that's for sure.
Van Wilder. Actually, fun fact
Oh,
about Van Wilder that has
I haven't watched that in a minute.
nothing to do with Van Wilder, um, is the fact that there was a college player playing for, I think he was playing for Miami. This was his 9th year in college because he kept getting hurt. So he never actually played a year in college. And now this is his 9th year. So the dude's like 27.
In Miami now?
I want to say he's like on the U or some team. He's like a tight end or something. I think he caught the touchdown. Yeah, he caught like the first touchdown from Miami, I'm pretty sure. And this is his 9th year
On
because
Saturday?
yeah, he kept getting hurt. And
Oh.
so he entered in like 2016 and he's still in fucking college.
Ooh, Varsity Blues. That wouldn't get made today, I feel
Oh,
like.
it's about high school football. I don't
Well,
really.
it's high school football, but think of all the things that happened in that movie. The teacher's a stripper, and then they're hanging out with the teacher. Like,
Oh, yeah, I
like,
completely
they're
forgot
making
about
all
the
the
stripper aspect. Yeah.
which I was her for Halloween one year. She was a sex ed teacher.
Oh my God. Big starring Tom Hanks. I remember this movie. The
Dude,
movie
yeah.
shows a kid in an adult body hooking up with an adult. Yeah. That's very, very true. Uh, Yeah, that's actually a really good one. I feel like a lot of corporate America too hasn't aged well or anything with like computers or technology. I always love to go back or to see how I guess this would be more of a what movies have not aged well, right? Any like The Fifth Element, how bright and futuristic the world looked, but now like you look at how futuristic we supposedly are, like Back to the Future, we don't have any of that stuff yet. You don't think Ace Ventura? Stacy says Ace Ventura. I want to hear some takes on
Oh,
this one. I think
of
it would.
course, that one didn't age well in
Oh,
regards to, Louis or Lois is Einhorn, Einhorn is Louis, and then they all
oh
start
yeah,
singing and they're all disgusted.
like with
Yeah,
the
that's
yeah,
and
with
he
the
puts the
bulge.
plunger on his face.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's
I was
bad.
thinking, like, all the animal stuff, but then I'm like, "Oh, wait, there was that whole
They did have a
sequence
dolphin
where."
in a, like, above ground pool.
I mean,
Snowflake.
true. I totally forgot about the whole, like, she has a dick, and I was just like, "Ah, yeah," but
I remember watching that movie being so confused because I didn't know what hemorrhoids were. I didn't understand what was
seven-year-old me was like,
happening.
"What is happening here?"
Yeah, I don't think any kid understood. We were just like, "Hey, he's a pet
Hmm.
detective with funny hair."
You know, he said risky business. This makes me think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I
No,
feel
that's
like
Tom
that
Cruise.
I know that is. That's Tom Cruise
Oh,
where he's in the shirt and the socks, come sliding across the a
because
bit.
he's running like a whorehouse, isn't he?
Something like that. I was thinking Ferris Bueller for the fact that, like, social media would
Oh, would call him
absolutely
out right away. His
they would
mom
be
would look on Life 360.
Life
Ga
360, the Ring
game over.
camera again. It's just like our movie or our talk about horror movies, how to defeat the villain, Cement. It's just the Ring camera all the time.
Yeah,
Life
yeah.
360, you're being tracked. Tropic Thunder with blackface. You're telling me Robert Downey Jr., who's just the guy playing another dude disguised as another dude? I heard he's playing
Yeah, I've
T'Challa,
heard
actually.
so many different opinions about that one because how he did it, the comedic value, because they were making fun of people that do it, that some people give it a pass, but I don't know if it
I've
would
heard the
pass today.
same thing where so I feel like there's a generational divide with this one because I've heard two sides of the thing. Like there's a
Mhm.
very clear cut, like I guess Gen Z, like I hate to bring the generational Gen Z, blah, blah, blah. But Gen Z says that it's messed up. However, like millennials and up are okay with it. And people of all colors agree. But that's the joke, I feel, because they're making fun of Hollywood and how
Right,
like
it's
they would
this
rather
white
cast a
dude who
white
thinks
guy to
he
play a
can
black
literally
guy.
be anybody. Yeah,
I think that's
and
why
takes
it
it
would
too far.
pass because that's just a riff on like look at Hollywood. Like
But
how many
that's
times
Mel
did they
Brooks.
whitewash?
Even in
Yeah, that
Blazing Saddles, he's making fun of the racists. But that, I mean, but he did some
yeah.
far out things in that movie. I
I
never
mean,
watched that movie, and I watched it recently and was like, "Whoa!"
yeah. I guess
Just there's a
I
lot
don't
of
know. Tropic
supernatural
Thunder is a
references
really
of
hard one
Blazing
because
Thunder or Blazing Saddles.
I feel like Tropic Thunder movie's so hilarious. That movie holds up though, in my opinion, too. So I guess it wouldn't for that reason alone, even though it
It's Tom Cruise's
definitely.
best movie. Well, then you have Simple Jack.
Oh my God, please. I'm not mature enough right now for Simple Jack. I can't because then you're gonna make me want to start quoting it. Somebody quick, give me another
Yeah, no, I
movie.
know. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh no. Oh no.
How about Can't Hardly Wait? Would that work today?
Which ones can't I feel like any rom-com from the late 90s? Police Academies? Yeah. That's very good point, Scott. Police Academies, but rom-coms I feel like of the late 90s. It's like
Can't
ah,
Hardly Wait was on with Jennifer Love Hewitt. It
was
was
that
like a
Freddie
party
Prinze
at the end
Jr.?
of the year.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
No,
She's All
which
That. That wouldn't go today.
oh, that She's All That. Well, I don't remember what She's All That was about. What happens in that movie?
She's All That's the one where they say, pick any girl and I'll make her prom queen. And they pick
Oh,
Lainey. That's the
oh,
one
that
with Freddie Prinze
reminds me.
Jr. and Paul
What
Walker.
movie? I was watching a movie. It's an older movie. I can't remember. It's got the girl, what's her name from she's in
Rachel Lee
16
Cook.
Candles, and
Oh,
she's
Molly
in
Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald's in it. And basically she is like obsessed with this guy who's dating this girl. So they basically get the girl, she gets drunk, and they like pretend the nerdy guy is the boyfriend, and he like takes
Ducky?
advantage of her being
Are you
drunk.
talking about 16 Candles?
Is it 16? Actually, wait, is it 16 Candles? Maybe
I
it
haven't seen
is.
that movie in forever.
Actually, no, it is
But
16 Candles.
Ducky, the
Fucking
guy from
stupid. Yes, it
Two and a
is.
Half Men or Lex Luthor in the CW universe, he's
Yeah,
Ducky.
I am absolutely thinking about 16 Candles. I'm completely because her parents forgot about her birthday. Yeah, I'm stupid.
Yeah, and her sister's getting married.
That movie would definitely not get made today because like it's
No.
taking advantage of a drunk girl, number one, and like everybody's cool with it at the end, and like that's really messed up.
And she ends up with a dick at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. That movie definitely would not.
What about
Right.
Grease? Tell me about it,
Ooh.
stud.
Grease. You know what I never noticed is Rizzo. I think it was Rizzo. She was
Was
pregnant.
45.
No, well, no, yes, but also like she gets pregnant and then loses the baby or something like that
No, I
in
think
that
she's
movie.
just not pregnant and thought that she might be.
Oh, is that? I thought Carrie was explaining it to me, and I was like, she goes, "Yeah, Rizzo was pregnant, like lost the baby or something," and I was like,
Oh, well, Carrie's more into it than I am, so she might know
"I'm gonna have
better
to
than me.
ask
I
her
just
again."
assumed that she just wasn't.
I thought she was, or like something happened with the baby.
But
Maybe
the way
she
they
just turned out
acted
not
so
to be.
excited when
But like that's
yeah,
something
but
like,
yeah, I
and
know
that's like
she's
my
more into it.
5-year-old's favorite movie is Grease, and I'm just like, God, she's gonna be one of those like, you let me watch this at 5 years old, and I'm gonna be like, "Ooh."
Okay, I
Well,
watched
I let your brother watch
Casablanca
Deadpool and
once.
Wolverine at 8, so
Jesus.
there are no rules.
So I watched Casablanca once, and then, like, as an adult, I watched it, and I don't think that movie would get made today. That movie's terrible. He's, like, telling the girl, "Oh, never been kissed?" "Yes." Because it's
Mm,
the teacher is, like, up there with the and, like, even though she is 21 over 21 or over she's an adult, he doesn't know that.
no,
What was
that's like
Trading Places?
Trading Places. I don't remember that, buddy. That makes me think of The Graduate. Well, no, yeah, I guess The Graduate. That Graduate can get made today, I guess, because it's Al
That was
Pacino,
the whole
and
thing was they were marketing the whole, like,
yeah,
"This isn't okay."
he was graduated from high school, so at that point, yeah, I guess that would have been okay because technically all that stuff. Okay, I can go with that one. Trading Places. I don't remember what Trading Places was about.
The other one's Gwyneth Paltrow?
Let me look up Trading Places real quick because I don't think I've ever actually seen that one. Trading Places. It's with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd from
Oh,
1983.
yes, I know
John Landis
exactly
was
what you're
the
talking
director.
about.
A snobbish investor and a wily street con artist find their positions reversed as part of a bet by two callous millionaires. Yeah, I've never seen that. So Patrick explains it perfectly, right? Eddie Murphy was a criminal. Dan Aykroyd's a businessman. Two rich old dudes make a bet to see if they can swap places. Huh.
No,
I
it's
guess.
super racist. There's, like, moments that are, like,
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
really rough. There was another movie too, it was I think it was the '80s where some kid, like, couldn't get into the college he wanted. It resembles almost Legally Blonde at times because he's going to his parents and he wants to go to the school, and they're like, "Well, we are gonna let you do this on your own. We're not gonna pay for you to go to the school. You're gonna have to get scholarships." And he's like, "Well, I can't get scholarships because," and, like, somebody asks him, like, "Well, are you a minority at all? Or is there anything you can claim for that?" So he literally does blackface and puts himself as black
Oh,
to get a scholarship and then goes to college with blackface every day. I don't remember what movie it is, but that would
well, that
100%
definitely
never
is
get
not
made.
flying.
That shouldn't have gotten made when it got made. That's the thing, like,
That's
some of the movies are
definitely.
like, "This couldn't happen today," and some of the movies are like, "How did this happen then?
How was this ever? This people got
This
paid.
was
People still get
never okay."
residuals. The Toy, which is an underemployed reporter, finds himself literally purchased as a toy for a rich spoiled brat. Directed by Richard Donner. Oh boy. It stars Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason,
Hmm.
Ned Beatty. It looks like an African American man is a maid for a bunch of rich white folks. Yeah. From the trailer I'm looking at right now, this definitely looks like something that has not aged well.
I guess when you ask this question, I'm thinking, like, what movies has cell phones ruined? And this just took, like, such a turn.
Well, I was thinking like when you talked about the college, I was like accepted right off the bat, like accepted because that's the one with Jonah
Justin
Hill,
Long.
Justin Long, where they make a fake college. Again, social media would ruin that one right off the bat. Like that, some of these aren't for reasons like messed up reasons. It's just social media. Patrick says horrible bosses. Yeah, they plot to kill their bosses, and one of them literally was it which was it? It was Jennifer
Jennifer
Aniston's
Aniston,
character, right?
yeah.
She was
Josh
real creepy.
After that movie, Josh found Jennifer Aniston in a whole new light. I think he fell in
That
love with
took
her in
him
that
that
movie.
long to see Jennifer Aniston like that?
He
Dude,
always saw her as, like, cutesy, but she played a very different character than she usually plays in that movie, and he very much so enjoyed that character.
I can't believe it took him that long. That's unfortunate. Truly,
What
truly.
does she eat? Like, a banana and a popsicle and a hot dog. How is that a nutritious meal?
Lauren's film is Soul Man who did blackface. Yeah, that's what
I
that
think it
is.
was the
Okay.
guy one of the guys from Weekend at Bernie's? Was it? I could be wrong.
Stacy says, can I say Titanic because there's no
Oh.
icebergs anymore? Oh man. Dude, that's tough. Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. You're right. There are no icebergs anymore. That's so tough. Yeah. And
It's yeah.
damn, global
Good thing you're
warming.
on a pol
I guess C. Thomas Howell was who you're thinking of for Soul Man, but we're the Millers. I like that movie. That's Jennifer Aniston in that movie.
That's another
She's a
one.
smoke show. Wasn't Sheila a stripper or something in
Yeah, she was
that
a stripper
movie?
in that. I feel like that came out not
She got
far
down
off
and like,
from,
yeah, that's
Horrible
right.
Bosses.
Yeah, that it did. You're right. That and that also has the dude who just played Adam Warlock in it.
Yeah, yeah. That was
And
the only
obviously
thing I
Ted
knew him in,
Lasso.
and I'm like, "You cast him?" Yeah, and it had, Julia
What's her
Roberts'
Yeah,
niece
she
from
sucks. We don't
Scream.
care about Emma Roberts, but
Oh,
I guess like well, no, Scream could get made today. I feel like the original Scream couldn't because again, nobody answers the phone anymore.
right? You just sent him to voicemail?
Straight
Like,
to
"Well, this is
voicemail. I don't
awkward."
know who this is. No, I feel like Jurassic Park could get made today because I keep hearing about things in Siberia melting and new things getting Pretty
So I was at
Woman.
Animal Kingdom last week and Pretty Woman, yeah. So
What
at
do you
Animal
mean?
Kingdom last week, and Logan was asking something about, like, plants, and I wanted to be like, "Oh, it's a prehistoric plant like in Jurassic Park." And then I thought, did they ever explain how they got the prehistoric plants? Because they explained the blood from the flies or
Oh, the
from the
plants.
mosquitoes that were trapped in the sap, but how were they able to bring back plants that had been extinct for millions of years?
I've always wondered about the plants actually because yeah,
Well,
they
I
get
didn't wonder about
they
it
didn't
until literally last week.
no, I have because they got this like clearly they got the blood
Yeah,
from
and, like, Ellie is, like, holding this plant being like, "I don't understand. This plant
none
should
of
be
us do,
extinct."
Ellie, okay? But it's provocative and it gets the dinosaurs moving.
Alright, what was the one that somebody just said that I missed?
Stacy says that Scream 4 introduced. I know, but I'm talking about the first Scream. Nobody answers phones, okay? And then Lauren
Oh,
mentioning being
angry.
at Disney makes me think of another Song of the South. I have not heard of that one, but
That's the one Splash Mountain was based on.
oh, still
Yeah.
haven't watched it. Maybe I don't know.
Well, because I have actually I did see it at MegaCon because MegaCon will sell like the Star Wars Christmas special. I did see Song of the South there. But that was what nobody understood. Like, why did you open this ride in the 90s based on a movie that Disney's trying to pretend didn't happen because it's supposedly so racist? And I can't even speak to it because I've never seen it because they've basically banned it and took it off all the shelves.
Interesting.
So yeah, and then people are complaining that it's Tiana. It's so much better as Tiana. Like walking away singing like any song from Tiana is fantastic. Zippity Doodah, not a great song to have stuck in your head. So I'd much rather
Ooh,
walk away singing, almost there and getting beignets than singing Zippity Doodah and wanting to blow my
that's
brains out.
fair. Carrie's grandfather used to sing Zippity Doodah, funny enough. But if there's anything we missed, by all means, as we come to the end of Cantina Hour, go ahead, let us know. Drop us a line, hopsgeeknews@gmail.com. Better than It's a
Better
Small
than
World,
It's a
Patrick.
Small World.
God,
That's
anything is
true.
better than It's a Small World. Talk about,
No, 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 anything but that.
oh my God,
I've
that's the
got to
if you
love a
want to
bunch of
find out the government
coconuts
secrets,
because
you
they
put me on
taste.
It's a Small World and I will tell you whatever you want to know, man.
The
Not that I know
Disneyland
anything.
one's better.
No, none of them are good. But
I didn't say
yes.
did you see what they're doing in, I don't remember if it was sorry, if it was in Japan or China, but one of them, their Small World just added Marvel characters.
You're not gonna get me to go on it still. Don't
You
care. I
don't
can't
wanna
even go
fly
to
to Asia? Okay.
no.
Fine.
Yes, as we wrap up this week's Cantina Hour, let us know what some topics that you guys maybe want to hear. Let us know some things that you maybe wanted to discuss, what your thoughts are at hopsgeeknews@gmail.com. Scott real quick says Disneyland's much better. They made it a Christmas version every year. And
Yes.
speaking of Scott, if you would like to support
And
the
they have
show,
Disney characters in it.
they do. You can go to patreon.com/hopsgeeknews. And then something new that we are introducing is if you don't want to make a commitment, you can also, buy us a beer. If you just want to support the show, not every month, you can just go to paypal.com/hopsgeeknews. Do it that way. Lauren is going to be at New York City Comic Con in about a month. I unfortunately will not be there because scheduling just did not work out, but I will actually probably be in Orlando the end of October, right before Halloween. Funny enough, cannot wait. I've gone to Orlando a couple times this year. Lauren and I have done a lot of trips this year. It's really cool. And then before you know it, Halloween's here and we're going to be starting to go into spooky season. So let us know if there's any spooky films that you would like us to talk about, some movies that you want us to talk about, maybe Cantina Hour, some spooky things. If you want to come on and chat with us, by all means, drop us a line. We'd love to have some folks come on. This month's Patreon movie that we are going to watch together, we're just trying to lock in a date. I did put a poll on our Patreon page, is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. And then I believe October is going to be Scooby-Doo in Zombie Island. So we'd like to watch a movie, just casually chill. Hops Geek Booze for Haley. We're trying to work it out to where hopefully we can maybe all run the same day or do our exercise the same day. And then we can hop on like a little happy hour afterwards, have some beers, chat, hang out, and things like that. So if you're interested, please go to the link tree in our bio and sign up, donate for a great cause. Like we've already talked about a ton of time. And then Stacy says, topic for next time. What's the perfect movie to add Scottish Slender Man to? If you're not in our Discord channel, do it. Trust me. Go to the link tree, join our Discord, come
Lion
hang out with
King.
us all day, and we'll get to hang out. Lauren, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, I don't. Just our higher tier Patreons. Next week I'll be mailing these out. They
That's
came
right.
out
We
like
got
I was
pint
very nervous how they were gonna come out.
glasses.
Although I would recommend hand wash just
Yeah,
in
hand
case.
wash. I always hand wash like my pint glasses anyways, just
Yeah, it's
because.
better for them.
It is. But we do have some pint glasses going out to the top level Patreon tiers. Lauren hand drew it. Pretty excited. We got some things coming up. So thank you guys for supporting. Seriously, cannot tell you how much it means to us because literally everything we do comes into doing this and then, pint glasses and cool stuff like that. We're going to probably look at getting some shirts. So if you're interested in that, be on the lookout and subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that said, next week's episode is going to be a Penguin origin story where we dive into his comic book origins, some comic books that we recommend reading about Penguin, and some abilities that he has. And I'm going to briefly recap him in the Penguin or the Batman,
In the
because the
Batman.
Penguin TV series is coming out on the 19th. And then the week after that is going to be Agatha All Along on September 18th. So we're going to do some Agatha and WandaVision recap for you guys. Only way to do it is subscribe to Hops Geek News and then find us every Wednesday, weekly comic book reviews on nerdinitiative.com, baby. You already know. We're reading the best. We're giving you the best. And with that said, cheers to next week.